Okay. So, can you tell me your name again?
They call me Baaba Heru. B-A-A-B-A. Heru. Yeah, B-A-A-B-A Heru. Baaba Heru. And people also call me the Ankh Man. My full name is Heru Ankra Samaj Sepata. Sepata means son of Ptah because Ptah is the patron of all craftspeople, people who work with their hands, architects, builders, craftswomen and craftsmen who make the jewelry. Like those things you were looking in King Tut's book there, all of those were done by priest and priestess initiates of the Ptah clan. They're the ones who, just like they had different guilds, like you have a union of carpenters, you have a union of bricklayers, and so on. Union of doctors and nurses. We had the similar structure in Kemet.
Oh, okay.
You know, where if I was a scribe and you're my daughter, you'll become a scribe. It goes through generations that you maintain a tradition.
It's just interesting because I did a little bit of studying of the Egyptian Book of the Dead that I found online, and I didn't do much in depth, but we did have like a little study group with the Egyptian practice, and since now I'm really studying the Bible, I'm trying to see like how like God's chosen people, like of Israel, things of that nature, how it relates back, like Sankofa kind of thing. So I'm trying to understand how to intertwine the two, so I can relate it to people in the church, people outside the church, so I don't look like I don't know what I'm saying or what my beliefs are,
Right. Well, the concept of God having a chosen people, I hate to say it's nonsense, because if God is no respecter of persons, as the Bible says, how come He's got a chosen people? That's politics. And people who wanted to elevate themselves above everybody else. You are chosen if you choose to be chosen to live a righteous life, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Okay? But if you're blowing the Palestinians up to bits and they're blowing you up to bits, then where is the God in that? Where's the love in that? Okay? So it's that's why I say some of the things I say may conflict with what you've been given to believe. But know that belief is passé. This is the age of knowledge. Belief got to sit down when knowledge comes on the scene, because I can force you to believe anything. And you say, yes, I believe. You come into Africa and you bring this Caucasian image of a son of God, and you ask me to believe that is the Son of God. Well, didn't out of his mouth comes the saying that to as many as receive is given the power to become the children of God or the sons of God? So it's not something exclusive to any one people. It all depends upon your spirit and what you attracted to. If you're attracted to goodness, why? You're on the side of Ma'at. You've heard about Ma'at, right? Ma'at is righteousness, balance, order,
peace,
truth.
justice.
Yes, all of that. Those are Ma'atian ethics. So those things are not usually taught in the churches because it's Kemetic. It is from that son of Noah called Ham.
Yeah, and they talk about like how Egyptians, they follow false idols, and basically they got taken away from God because they had idols. Like they really said like statues and false gods, things like that. So can you elaborate on to clarify that?
Well, first of all, that's a blatant misunderstanding on the part of those strangers who do not understand African ways of thinking. What's the difference between a statue and a Polaroid picture of your ancestors? Let's say you have a mother, you took a photograph of her. It's an image on paper. So what's the difference between an image on paper and an image in stone? Okay? We did not have those cameras where you can take the image. We used to carve the likeness, and those are eternal. That's what's filling up the museums. And if the Jews are so anti-Egypt, how come they're contributing so much money to all the world's museums? More than any other Caucasians, these Jews contribute more of their money to preserve Egyptian artifacts. So you see there's a schizoid relationship.
Why? Okay. What?
You did not know that?
I can see how it plays. I don't know the details of it, but I'm like, why would they do that if they trying to? Oh, they want to control the image.
Well, that too, because a lot of when they give the money to the museums, they will say, okay, keep the black faces in the basement and bring up the Caucasian-looking ones.
Yeah, I've definitely seen like images and videos of fake historians like lightening our images. So I've seen that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they play games with that, and they say that we were pagan and heathen, but all of their prophets came into the Nile Valley. Every single one of the major prophets. Abraham and Sarah came in starving. Who fed them? The Africans of the Nile, people carrying the Ark.
That's so interesting you mentioned Abraham, because they say, when I talk to certain people who are directly like my little circle, they definitely talk about Abraham being one of the chosen people of God kind of thing. So the fact that you're saying there's, I like that. It's more to the story basically, and it's always more to the story as I'm seeing. So that's great that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Like before he was who people think he is in the book, he was even something else before that.
He came into the land of Canaan, where the Bible said his God told him to go to a land overflowing with milk and honey. But when he got to Canaan, there was no milk and no honey. There, so God was wrong. He sent him in the wrong place. So now, when in order to survive, where did he come? He came to the Nile Valley, him and his wife Sarah. And there they grew rich, and they went out richer than they came in because of the hospitality of the Nile Valley Africans. Let's go to Moses. Moses was saved from drowning and was educated in the house of the Kemites, right? I don't call them Egyptians.
Well, I'm saying people who don't know what Kemet.
Yeah, they say, yeah. But we have to make that correction, because we cannot continue to call you. Won't let anybody call you out of your name, would you?
No.
Okay, so therefore there's no Egypt. That's a false term taken from the Greek Aiguputus, which then later became bastardized in English as Egypt.
So Kemet
or Tameri is another name for that land, the doubly beloved land.
There was some words you used to describe. There was a different chem something you used.
No, I will. The nation was. They call it Upper and Lower Egypt, where they have Nubia and Cush to the south and Kemet or Tameri to the north. These were once one nation, one united nation called Smaikawi. Smaikawi means the united two regions, north and south, but not only north and south geographically, north celestially and south terrestrially, heaven and earth, okay? Masculine and feminine, the union of the masculine and feminine, all that is Smaitawi. Whenever you have complements, things that go together, that complement each other, that's a concept of Smaitawi. Look at us here. We are now in the West, are we not? But here we are discussing something way back in the East. And we're trying to recapture the beauty of our Eastern beginnings, even though we're here in the West. So that's Smaitawi. You understand? It's a union of two. It's your breathing in and breathing out. That's Smaitawi. So the breath is very important, because the breath is spirit, and that's what causes union of all things. Okay? It's the in your body, it's the acid and alkaline. Okay? Too much acid will kill you. Too much alkaline will kill you. So you have to maintain the balance between two of them, right? That's Smaitawi.
Awesome. I'm glad you said that. I'm about to have me a deli bodega sandwich. Let me stop.
Your marriage to your boyfriend, that's Smaitawi. Okay? You're coming together as one and being united as one. That's Smaitawi. So here in America, they do the same thing. Do you know that every year in Washington, D.C., there's a park that I was hearing about this, Tony Browder.
Oh.
Tony Browder, if you read the Browder Files or you read Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization, and you go to his he gives a tour of Washington, D.C. called Nile on the Potomac.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because that's what it was called before it was called Washington, D.C. It was called Nile on the Potomac because it was built by Masons, and Masonry had its beginnings in Egypt.
Oh, okay. It's about Washington, D.C. was designed by basically a black man. And his
Benjamin Banneker.
Yeah, Benjamin Banneker.
Yeah.
And it was connected to the constellations and the stars.
Precisely. Because everything was, because they were following Masonic principles, which they got from Kemet. And a lot of the buildings are imitations of Kemetic structures. So Western man has a love-hate relationship with this. They love it because of all the architecture, all the beauty, but when it comes to identifying who these people were, when they find that these were Africans, then they hate it. Because they don't want they don't want to accept the fact that Africans are capable of such beauty, of such grandeur, of such high culture. You see, they want us to believe that we're a bunch of illiterates who needed them to come and teach us about the one God. You know, so we are in a pickle because we have been indoctrinated with belief. And when you're indoctrinated with any concept, it becomes part of your DNA. And that's why it's so hard to let it go. And for a lot of us, you know, our grandmother taught us these things. We love our grandma. We don't want her to be wrong, so we hold on to what she teaches us, even though we may find out that it's not so, because we love her. And we want to be part of the family. And if you begin to shift, your family is going to start looking at you cross-eyed, you know, because, oh, you're not into Jesus? Well, like I always say, I don't understand how women complain at how they're mistreated, but they're the ones who contribute to their own mistreatment because they worship a Caucasian male as God on earth. They don't see God in their husbands, okay? Like I always say, they give their bodies to their husbands, they give their soul to the Caucasian Jesus, and they give their money to the preacher.
See, knowing what I know, I wonder if you can speak on this aspect, because even in the church, I'm in a part of a non-denominational church.
Right.
And there are people who are of color, black, and they're married. You know, they're doing their best to have this holy walk. And even in my walk, like Jesus, okay, whatever. I see Yeshua by whatever name, but I see a black man in my spirit because of what I've known. So
no, don't say whatever name. His name is Yeshua.
Oh,
if he's a Hebrew,
right.
Aramaic, it's not like we make light of the name.
I apologize.
No, you don't have to apologize to me.
I didn't know if I was right or been fed something incorrect, so I was looking for a teachable moment.
Right. So people always say, well, it don't matter what you call them. You know, call them anything. Like they say, Egypt, Kemet, whatever you call it. A lot of speakers do that. No, it's not whatever you call it. What is this fucking name? Because you don't want nobody to call you out of your name.
So I'll correct it now.
You know.
I'll just say, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeshua or Jesus?
Yeah, Yeshua.
Jesus, Yeshua. No, sorry,
Yeshua.
Yeshua is the...
I cancel Jesus. It don't exist. First of all, there was no J in the Hebrew language.
Yeah.
This you know. Okay? Because you come here and you know much more than you're pretending to know. And because that's I don't know, it's how we are. You know a lot of what I'm speaking about already. Because you've been checking out YouTube, you've been listening, you've been learning, you know. So what I'm doing is just, but the way to get more out of someone is to pretend that you don't know. But you know stuff.
Well, I'm not trying to pretend that I don't know. I'm just trying to see if any of it correlates. If anything can be useful, if anything can help today's people as a culture, and how I can be utilized to help the movement.
Great. Okay. Well, the first thing is... what we need more than anything else is to live a righteous life, to be in ma'at. But you can't be in ma'at internally if you're full of acid. If you're constipated by eating crap of this culture, if you're eating all the food icons like their hamburgers, their pizza pie, their hot dogs and all this crap, drinking Coca-Cola and 7-Up and Pepsi, that's adultery. You're adulterating your bloodstream. Okay, and your bloodstream is an internal river that you want to keep from pollution. Okay?
Definitely, you know that I definitely try my best to be plant-based.
That's good.
I'm juicing right now.
Your skin looks great.
Oh, I have a video on YouTube. I lost about 60 pounds within a year since coming back to New York.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, thank you. And people were like, "Oh, you think you all that?" I don't know who may say
yes,
that.
Yes, you are all that.
That's what I'm saying.
And you are not all that, but you are more.
More than that.
So don't let them bullshit you. You are all that and more, my sister. You are just peeling away the skins of the onion that is you. Okay, getting rid of the crap that you don't need. So you ought to give yourself and pat yourself on both backs.
Self-love will conquer self-hate.
There you go.
Thank you. It'd take, for those who really know my journey, who've been with me on this walk, they know. They see me. So they're like, wow, and the point that I'm at, not saying I arrived to some degree, but I'm looking forward to where I'm going. No particular rush. But I'm like...
I'm going to ask you a very personal question. Were you ever molested as a child?
It's kind of unclear.
Okay, no more. The reason why I say that, if it's unclear, that's part of the reason why you were eating. Trying to cover up stuff. You're trying to hide a memory. Okay? And so as you got rid of the weight, you were unburdening yourself and trying to find clarity as to what happened to you. Okay? And so that's a victory. That is a great victory. Okay? Because with that excess weight, listen, I can usually tell sisters, this overweight sisters, beautiful women, and they have such a cherubic face, beautiful faces, and their bodies are like this. And those are usually the ones that have been molested by uncles, by cousins, by brothers, right in the house, not even in the church, because that's another zone there. We send our boys to choir practice, and all 99% of the choir directors are gay in the black church, so they're full of hypocrisy. Okay, and so that they what kind of mother? What will happen to your son? But because, his father is not around, he's not taking care of business, you're so mad at the daddy that you send your son to be fucked by these ministers? Come on now. What's wrong with you? This is something terrible that's going on in the black church. And they copy it from the Roman church because we are always such wannabes. We just want to fit into their crap. We want to be like them. So we give our boys and girls away to these monsters. So it's this is going to be heavy stuff for your listeners.
They're grown.
They will understand in time.
Yeah, in time.
Yeah. It can be overwhelming because I'm sure I was been there, overwhelming. But like you said, that the bad will also subside and it'll sift into our
in
brain.
time. In time, yeah. So it's a patience. We have to have patience with ourselves and with the process. And
learning more about that every day.
Yeah. Many times we try to get it all in one sitting, and then we end up being confused because you really can't get it all in one sitting.
I hear people in my head, that's been a lot of... I've been hearing particularly from men, not directly, but just as a theme. Just patience. Just, people willing to be patient, then, think a lot will get done in the long haul.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead.
So, I think my question is, how do we heal relationships or friendships? I don't know. The gender, relationships. I guess that's the thing for me. It's like sometimes I'll be open. I'll be honest. For the first time, I actually feel like I can't hide, and it's scary. And it's not just with this particular gentleman, but it's people that are really wanting to know the heart. And I know that in Kemetic culture, the heart should be lighter than the feather. And the fact that I am coming more into my nature, my authentic soul, it's just like, oh my God, I can't hide. And I don't know why it scares me really. And I'm afraid that I will, a part of me that will push people away or will I don't know, I'm not sure why I'm afraid. But
well, let's say this, because you want to belong. But let me tell you something. The people you push away needs to be pushed away. You need, as you grow, you need to, look, you have a garden. You have to weed it, right? Otherwise it'll choke the plant that you want to grow. So a lot of our relationships are weeds. You know, those that support our growth, those we hold on to. Those, as we grow, those who don't like the fact that we're growing and leaving them will complain and will try to discourage us. So what you do is keep your eyes on the prize, keep your eyes on the focus of your growth and development, and they will fall away. And you need to let them go. You see, remember, they're not all, what they say, not all skin folk are kinfolk. All right. So don't feel bad about it. You may think that you're losing something, but no, you're not losing anything. You are getting rid of the weeds that's choking your growth in this garden earth that we're living on. Okay? Mm-hmm. So you'll be better off without them. You may feel a little sad because, but it's okay. You'll overcome that too. Okay?
But there's always going to be aspects of yourself that you may not. You may wonder if that person will still accept you or still like you, even though they know that aspect of you as well. And that is the test. Yeah. Let it show, let it shine. And if they really care for you, they can accept that too. And they can work through it with you.
That was very, I like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So it's a good thing. Now, how many people in your church have a Kemetic orientation? Or are there many of them?
I mean, I'm not Kemetic, I'll say, but like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, numerology, maybe astrology, from spiritual, loosely. I think people come from that background. But from what I'm seeing, I don't know how you would relate this to Kemetic. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of artists, I see artists, and then I see like people who just are in this matrix, and they're like, oh, they have a hobby in art, whatever, but they're not pursuing anything outside of the matrix. Mm. So I try to not associate too much with those types. That's just me. Mm. But yeah, I don't think too many. I don't know anybody that they didn't bring it to my attention. Mm-hmm. But I have brought certain Afrocentric teachings that I've learned, and they just accept it, and they just say it's wisdom and
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to make a correction for you. We refer to this construct, this diabolical construct, as a matrix, and I think it's not fair to the womb, because a womb is a matrix. Ma, mother, okay? So what we are living in is a patrix. It's a patriarchal order.
Oh, okay.
It's a false womb.
Patrix.
That's what it is. It's not a matrix. A matrix is a loving environment that nurtures life, that grows life. It's a womb.
Ooh, y'all hear that?
Okay.
Everybody listening? Wow, that's incredible. Thank you for saying that, clarifying.
Yeah, so people use that term loosely, not realizing that matrix comes from the word ma, mother. It's the zone where we are nurtured for 10 moons inside of our mother's womb. So that's an indictment of the female principle.
What do you mean indictment of the female principle?
It's like slander against the mother.
Gotcha.
Slander of the womb. It's a defamation of the womb and its purpose, which is to nurture life.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you could not know because we're all in the habit of using that term matrix, not realizing that we are slapping the mother.
Wow.
Okay.
Something came to my thoughts about the matriarchy, or the divine unity between man, woman, and child, knowing that Heru is what I've been taught to be, I know to be the original Christ child. Mm-hmm. And one of my teachers, he said, if you pay attention to like the root of it, it's her, and then it's a you, her root. So trying to bring back the principalities of both being equal. And Can you just elaborate? Maybe I'm making it too like.
No, not at all. But you see, the minute you use an English word to define a Kemetic principle, you're off base.
Oh.
So that's Rastas do that sometimes. You know, they create these words using English as the base for differentiation. Now,
let me ask my question though. I have more to that. So, but just what is the feminine aspect of that word Heru besides just the mother?
Okay, Herut. The T makes it feminine. So, but check this. Her is one. Heru is more than one. The U in the ancient Kemetic language in the Medu Neter is plural. The U makes things plural. So the concept of Heru, the spirit of Heru, exists in feminine and masculine power. However, if you want to differentiate and target the feminine, you would say Herut. You add the T at the end. The T is a feminizing factor in the Medu Neter. Just like just like in Spanish, the A, the A, like you have señor, and then you have señora. A makes it feminine in Spanish. T makes it feminine in Kemet. Like all the female deities, Nut, Ast or Set, Nebet-Het, Serket, okay? They're all Het Heru or Het Hert. These are all female principles, you understand? And they all end in the T.
You mentioned Herut. I've never heard that. I've never heard that before.
Well, because, you come here, you're going to get the ma'at, you're going to get the full. And you see, you are ready to accept it because you know stuff.
It brought back a memory, just like that.
Yeah. So, all these principles live in all of us. Now, how do we access these? How do we access these forces that are already indwelling? Okay. Heru, how is did Marco come in?
Yeah, he looked like he came in late.
Oh, but he was there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was just getting in.
Uh-huh. Oh, good. I'm glad he's there. Does he have anything for us?
No.
Okay.
No, he got to put the bezel for the window.
Oh, yeah. Now that was ingrained in me by my father, that the most powerful
I'm recording, by the way.
The most powerful women and men of African descent are right here in New York City because they come from all over Africa and they settle here. And so it's a mixture of people that and that they are very that African Americans really don't know how very special they are.
Wow.
And
wow.
And they engage in these battles between North and South, Northern niggers via Southern niggers, that's what they call themselves. Mm. And then there's the battle between the so-called West Indian and the so-called American black, and
Silly as Dominican Republic and Haiti.
And all that crap, and so, but underlying all of that, there's a great potential. And that's the reason why, in spite of how discouraged I am, I still have faith in the restoration of African men to their original power. But they have got to want it, and a lot of them are afraid of the work necessary to do it and the consistency that is required to realize your full potential. I find that we have become intellectually lazy. As a matter of fact, we speak against intellect. Well, I don't get it's too intellectual. Well, what else you got, bro?
What else you got? Doesn't the mind lead the body?
So
where the mind goes, the body flows, kind of thing. So.
And then, of course, there are those who have the intellect, but they don't know how to apply their smarts to life, yes. The real life. process.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of knowledge, but they can't apply the first bit of it to actuality. And that's like kind of constipation.
And the fact that you said that, that's the part that, I can't remember the scripture exactly, but in the Bible, which I probably just say scrap a lot of it, I'm not sure, but you did mention some parts are trash or plagiarized, not true, or not well, both. But anyway, I was thinking about one scripture. It talks about men who have a godly form but deny God's power, and it says avoid them at all costs because they will take a woman and lead her away from God. And basically, there's more to that, but that's the gist of. Oh, they call these women naive, and and these men are like a worm in the mind.
Well, you see again, but you see, that kind of talk is coming from a patriarchal mindset, because you can't take a woman away from who she is. You see, women don't see themselves as divine because they are not included in the heavenly host. Number one, your God has no wife. It's all about male, all about he. There's no she. There are no female angels. You can't give me the name of one female angel that you've... Find me one female angel in the Bible. Find me one.
They don't speak about it.
In New Testament or Old Testament, you got Gabriel, Michael, all these people, but you got no male, no female angels.
Well, we have to rarely study the Bible to really find these women, and there's not really much said about them.
Well, they are there. I mean, they're there in the folklore, like Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of Jesus.
Oh, we learned about Deborah as well.
And Mary and Esther.
It's very brief. Very surface.
If you read the book of Esther, you'll be reading it's thinly veiled, the principles that exist between Ast or Set and her sister Nebuchadnezzar or Nephthys. Okay? That book, when you read it, I mean, it's a beautiful book. Even when they describe the colors of the king's house, those colors are strictly Kemetic because the sheep herders, they live in tents. They don't have that kind of beauty around them. They are following their sheep and they set up their tents wherever they are, and they don't have that kind of grandeur, that kind of beauty.
Oh, the feminine touch, you're saying?
Yeah, right. They don't.
I mean, I missed it. I was like stuck in this picture, so I kind of lost a little bit. We say so they were in tents. Who are the people living in tents?
The sheep herders.
Oh, okay.
Abraham, Sarah, all of them, they're sheep herders mainly. Now Moses, he grew up in splendor. He was not a sheep herder.
Okay. Talk about it.
Okay. But Abraham and Sarah, they were...
Wake up, goddesses, queens, we out here.
Yeah, read the book of Esther. You'll find it to be a beautiful book.
I'm glad you recommended that. It's so funny because since I've been in this church, I call it Disciple.
What is it called?
Disciple.
Disciple. Okay.
Disciple of Christ.
The discipline. Okay.
And since I've been given like encouragement assignments, right? Assignments to influence me to be better in my walk. And I don't really come across like spirit provoking, questions or things I really want to look into. But today, you definitely brought up some things that I want to look into. That I'm going to look into. And so
very good.
It's like people who are not in my church or in any sector of that religion, I definitely resonate with them, and like from time to time I go back to them and I'm like, you all, people like you all, and I'm just like, I gotta hear what keep me current, So thank you.
I still think you should take the Sacred Woman class. And you could find some sisters to do it with, maybe.
Okay.
Online, they really line up, and they're coming to it in droves now more than ever before. And this book has been out for 20 years. It has sold more in the last 3 years than it did in the last 17.
Wow.
So that goes to show you there's something opening up.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cosmically.
Definitely. I had a book for a while.
Yeah.
And I definitely refer back to it. Like when I was going through one of my earlier psychotic episodes, I definitely my resonance connected with that book. Out of all the books on the shelf, I said I need this book. Yeah, so I always go back to it. Trying to figure out how to have it in my space because I know my roommates are not gonna get it. You know, certain aspects like the altar. I really want to do an altar. I'm like, I don't know how to.
Do you have your own room?
I share a room.
Share.
Well, here's what I suggest. Like, I'm going to do a post on that, on your body temple as the altar. That you are the altar. So, not having a place it's always good if you can have a little space in your domicile. But if not, then place these things on you. Place them inside of you, in your heart. The implements, you can wear them, and not just because I'm into this craft. I'm not trying to sell anything, but like for instance, if you are a devotee of Ma'at, you know, and you're striving to live a righteous life, you know,
Libra energy,
balanced
we out
life,
here.
you know, then you put on your Ma'at earrings in the morning. That is a devotional presentation to that deity, which is indwelling. You put on the scarab, a little scarab ring or something like that. That is symbolic of your transformation, of your coming into being.
Is that Kepra?
Kepra, that's what Kepra represents, coming into being.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Now I get it.
If you are seeking to improve your level of attention, you can put on a pair of Eyes of Heru earrings, or wear Eyes of Heru bracelet or something.
Is that synonymous with focus?
Yes, the Eye of Heru.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So this is how these artifacts can become tools. In the Indian system, they refer to them as yantra. Yantra is something that inspires meditation. It gives you a point of focus. You know what I mean?
Like mantra.
Definitely, because I had made a vision board. I'm not gonna try to pull it up, but I had a vision board, and when I was going through one of my darkest times, I had made like the Ankh. I drew an Ankh and I glitter glue. It was beautiful. I love it. And I had a lotus. I drew a lotus and then glitter glue. My family, I did with my family, my household. I was applied. They were like, oh yeah, we're doing it. Like, I'm out. And so we did that, and I always looked at it as a point of reference, like you stated, and to remind me, to take me back. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really know, but I knew that I was going somewhere with this. It just helped me. So yeah, I think you're saying that definitely. I see it. It's clear. And I think about the lotus when I speak about it with other people. I typically like to mention, and correct me if I'm wrong, how the lotus represents like it's strife coming out of the mud to like blossom, you know, and to be beautiful essentially. So yeah, I think about us as a people, you know, just going through the thicket of like the struggle, you know, just what it is, and it's coming out to still be on, to shine.
Oh yeah, that's what we're here, because we're all stars, you know. We made of star stuff. So our purpose is to shine, which is to shine in every way possible.
You mean all of us as a human race?
Well, yeah, each of us, that's our choice.
Okay.
To amp your luminosity or to let it become just dull and dark. And people don't realize how much their skin of choice, which is the garments they put on, can dampen your attraction to spiritual power. Like for instance, wearing the colors of the day, and even if you don't have the colors of the day, still whatever color you wear, it's good if you know what principle it's connected to, so you can still milk it for its value.
I had to get more into
that. Like today, for instance, is blue, right? This is dedicated to Auset, the Divine Mother, all right? Now, Sakara's here wearing red, red and black, but she can still be tapping into the Heru principle, which the red represents, you know, and the Set principle, which is necessary for grounding, which is in the dark color that she's wearing at the bottom, you see?
Set is black?
Well, it can represent...
Black and red.
Yeah, black and red. That's Saturday. That's Saturn. You know...
I'm just thinking, like... You said so both energies balance one another.
Oh,
So
yes.
Red is Heru. You said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fight.
Right. But basically, let's say
Oh snap! Okay, we out here, and I'm black team. See, I know a little bit about color therapy, so I try to do that too. So
that's what one of the colors of the day. Each color is like an offering to that deific principle that's indwelling. Like today, Monday, tomorrow will be red and white for Herukuhuti, the warrior spirit. Wednesday, miércoles for Mercury, that's Chehuti. Okay.
Oh yeah.
On Thursday, Thor's day. Thor's Lord of the Hammer in the Tamahu cosmology still is related to Ptah because the hammer is a tool for building. So that's Ptah. That's purple. On Friday, Frida, which is connected to Heteru or Oshun. We wear green and yellow. On Saturday is black and red or indigo. And Sunday is gold. Yeah, and Sunday is gold or orange for Ra, or Heru Ra. So each day, and even though the structure of these days is not the way we did it Kemetically, still we can tap into the ruling planetary influence because each of the planets is a netter, is a divine principle, okay? And each one has a color that's related to it. So each day you offer that color to the principle that it represents.
And I'm gonna assume it's different color therapy for the genders. Cause I'm seeing different colors, so I'm trying to understand why.
Not really, no.
Oh, it's a choice, personal choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So usually I will wear the colors of the day. There's certain days where I might wear the colors that I'm feeling or that I'm contemplating.
Yeah, like trying
and
to
she's
draw
free to, you can do that. You can use the colors to
today,
tap
apparently.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see.
You can use that color to tap into that energy, but if you have to do it consciously. Or if you catch yourself, you have to be okay. Well, I didn't take all my clothes to the laundry. I only got this to wear. So now, what can I pull out of this?
Too,
Yeah.
No, it really is.
Real.
Yeah, it really is.
What can I pull out of this color? And then you meditate on that principle, and you still can use it. Like my home, I'm Ptah. I function within the aspect of Ptah. So I can wear purple any day that I want to.
As usual, purple my color.
Yeah. And Heru is another one of mine, so I love red. So I like to wear the red and white. So I can wear red and white any day, Heru any day,
So what I'm hearing is stick away from the grays and the blacks. Not the blacks, but the grays.
I mean, give it a break.
Give it a break.
Yeah, if you get on the train, you notice everybody's wearing black.
That's what I'm saying.
People are a lot of really heavy energy.
I hate
on the
gray.
train.
I don't like gray at all.
Gray has no meaning. It doesn't have a color. It's not
so
even
it really
a real
is
color.
neutral. It really is neutral.
See,
and black is absorbing and the white is reflecting. So I see that, I understand it.
Yeah.
I like, personally, it's going to add, I like to add gray with a pop of color. If I do gray. You have to. Gray, like you said, is like blah. But it color really pops out with gray.
Well, there are gray clouds in the sky, and the sun peeps behind them.
Then do clouds still exist somewhere?
Well,
I miss looking at the skies I saw back when I was growing up in the 90s. Like I miss that.
No, there's still some clouds. Not all of it is chemtrails.
Oh, thank God! I gotta find these places. Find the islands.
Yeah, but we're following in their traditions because they're from the UK and London, and they wear black and gray all the time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because of the weather conditions
energy.
up there, so they reflect what they saw in their environment, And men are under the impression that they have to look dull because being dull is masculine. So they got
interesting.
So they got these grays, they got these dark browns, these drab colors because they think that means you're a man.
Oh, and then they probably think the colorful colors are like flamboyant.
Female,
but in nature, all the male animals are more colorful.
That's right.
And they show their colors to attract the females.
Peacock. I think a peacock.
Precisely.
A lot of
really?
Look at the lion. The lion has got the mane. The lion has got no mane.
That's so funny because I like to say back in the day before I got all this information I have now, I would dress up not knowing what I was doing, but I would like jokingly say to other people like, "Oh, you're peacocking, you're peacocking."
Well,
not really
that's
knowing.
the male.
Or, I'm peacocking. It's funny, but I didn't really understand it.
Yes.
Nah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, like in this culture, who we get our pattern of what a man is supposed to be from the Europeans, So therefore, why do you think that they don't want to wash jeans? They're copying that from the grunge of these.
Where is it coming from?
It come from the Caucasian metal music.
Oh,
slavery.
What do you call hard metal music?
Cause I'm like, ew.
Torn up jeans? No, that's.
And now the torn up jeans, the sharecropper. You see, at one time they used to. Caucasians don't like to see us looking dressed up. They need to see us looking down. They need to see us looking poor. So they're comfortable when we wear holes in our stuff. It reminds, that's a sharecropper. He ain't nothing. He ain't nobody.
Oh, wow.
And now look at it. Look at how we have been tricked. Now we're paying $300 for a pair of jeans that look like our sharecroppers used to be forced to wear. Now we're paying to wear. We've been free for a long time from their brands on our skin. Now we're paying for the brands on their clothes. The same fucking names that we should be rejecting. We are wearing, Givenchy, Pierre Cardin. Who the fuck are these people that we should be wearing their names?
Slave masters.
You see?
So I'm just a little. I don't understand better as far as like the men's dress. Cause now I know I need to talk about.
Oh, don't. Listen, the men's dress, that suit.
No.
It is.
No, I'm saying like what you described, like the drab appearance.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying like, what visuals? What are they seeing? What are they listening? Like you said metal, but what? If they're into hip hop culture, supposedly, what are they seeing?
That's making them dress like that.
Yeah, like lowly.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's drabness because they think that drabness means masculinity.
Oh.
And
It's a mix of jail culture.
Well, that too.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said
but
that.
no, even in jail, they're wearing bright colors. It's usually orange.
Oh God.
And that is bright. That's as raw as you can get. And you need some color in those dark places.
You need a little bit of raw.
You need.
Oh God, so sad. That's not a good joke.
No.
But men have been fed a bill of goods as to what is masculine and what is feminine. So therefore, they want to look drab and funky looking and nasty and all wrinkled.
How I can encourage that without like imposing on their masculinity.
Oh, it's very hard, very difficult, because they use that as part of their identity. It's their skin, the pants hanging down, all of that. People have tried for years, knowing it doesn't budge. It gets worse. Because they have no other identity. They don't know what to identify with. And, so it really shows the fundamentals of our confusion. Like,
when I went to Egypt.
Oh, who is this guy? He got glasses like a new person.
Now, when I went to Egypt, right? And Egypt has the best cotton.
I'm sorry, you went to where?
Kemet.
Oh, okay.
Well, they call it Egypt now. They call it Egypt now.
Understand.
Okay? But I made that for a reason. Because in Egypt, I could not find the colors of the cloth I was looking for.
Wow.
It's a Muslim country. And the Muslim men are drab in their dress. Before, they used to be in robes and beautiful colors. As a matter of fact, one of the main headdress that the Muslims of Kemet used to wear is red and white. Red.
Oh yeah, that red and white.
Red on the inside, and they would wrap the white around the red, which is
Royce,
a copy of
note this down: how men dressed, red and white. Okay.
In what they now call Egypt, they used to wear the red and the white turban. The red on the inside and the white around it. And that was a copy of the kings of Kemet wearing the red and white crown. The red for the northern region and the white for the southern region. Of course, it has other connotations too, the masculine and feminine principle. So that's something that. So I'm asking these vendors. I says, well, where's the colorful? Oh no, you want the blue, you want black, here's some dark, nice pretty dark brown. No, I don't want those things. Where is the lighter colors?
And to add on to that, I I've gone to festivals in the past, and because of this reason I'm about to explain is why I just am discouraged to go to future ones. Not future ones, but lately. I see a lot of Afro things, like patterns. I'm like, we can be in that authenticity, but we don't have to have African garb.
I agree.
I don't like that. We're so much more than that trend thing. I don't. Ugh.
Yeah. You see, the thing to me is,
Like, I love what you're wearing, by the way. Like, I feel like I should have brought our brother here if I knew it was gonna be all this. And dragging your brothers out was hard too, a lot of times. But anyway,
look, I design my own stuff.
Yeah.
I design my own clothes, and because I don't want, when these people see me, they must know that there's nothing that you have that I want. And the thing, when you dress differently, it forces you to find your own way in the world rather than trying to fit into their stuff.
to say that,
Okay?
trust me, I'm not new to that. No stranger to that.
I don't like the suit is the dumbest, most ugly garment that a man, like, I've gone to fashion shows, and here comes a fabulous woman coming down the runway, looking in all, their colors and all the different, and here comes the man that, I get so bored I want to shut my eyes, because they got these suits looking with a little shark fin lapel, buttons that you don't even need, down here. What the hell are those buttons there for? You know what the buttons were there for? To keep the English sailors from wiping snot on their sleeves. So when they rake they would cut their nose.
Oh no!
So
That's something new with it. This is wow. I'm trying to see.
and now the grunge jeans, they're not supposed to be washed ever.
What?
That's right.
Oh hell no!
No, that's and the tight jeans give women toxic shock.
Down there.
Because
these.
Yes.
Okay.
If they're tight, if they're up on the crotch, if you're wearing garments that don't have a cotton patch, and then you see where all the stitchings come together, right? It's a very right here. It's a confluence of all the what you call the.
The woman's body gets really warm there, and it causes activation of that heat. And it is just not good for women. It causes her to release fluids that she is not needing to release at that time.
Yeast infection.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, can I show you a picture of my birthday? I actually had this outfit designed. I'm gonna show you a few because I was looking really good. Especially at my birthday. So I had my hair I love doing purple and blue. Those have always been my colors, and I'll show you simultaneously.
Oh, that's beautiful, sis.
Thank you. Ask me as a baby.
Aww.
It's like a little self-love album. This is my birthday.